Join me in creating a masterpiece using just my fingers and acrylic paint. Let's see what I can create without any brushes. Finger painting is an incredibly fun and expressive way to create art using acrylics. Today, we're going to dive into the world of finger painting, and I'll be guiding you through some step-by-step techniques to help you unlock your creativity and unleash your inner artist. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about finger painting is that it's only for kids. But trust me, it's an art form that requires skill, patience, and practice, just like any other medium. Another common misconception is that you need to be a skilled painter to create beautiful art. But the truth is, finger painting is all about experimentation and embracing the unknown. Many people feel intimidated by traditional painting methods, thinking they need to master complex brushstrokes and techniques. But finger painting is incredibly liberating because it allows you to let go of those fears and simply focus on the creative process. It's all about playing with colors, textures, and patterns to create something truly unique. I've had so many people tell me that they feel like they're not artistic enough to create beautiful art. But the beauty of finger painting lies in its imperfections. It's all about embracing those accidental splatters and smudges, and turning them into something beautiful. Let's get started with some basic techniques for finger painting with acrylics. The first thing we need to do is mix our colors. I like to start with a few core colors and then experiment with different combinations to create a unique palette. When it comes to layering, it's all about building up those colors gradually, allowing each layer to dry before adding the next. As you start painting, remember to experiment with different finger techniques, from smooth, sweeping motions to more textured, impasto strokes. Don't be afraid to get messy and make mistakes, they're all part of the process. And most importantly, don't worry if your painting doesn't turn out exactly as you envisioned it. The beauty of finger painting lies in its unpredictability. Now, let's take a look at how we can transform this blank canvas into a vibrant masterpiece. I'll be using a combination of bold colors and subtle textures to create a dynamic, abstract piece. Remember, the key to finger painting is to let go of control and simply allow the paint to flow. As I start adding more colors and textures, you can see how the painting is really starting to come alive. The acrylics are blending beautifully, and the finger strokes are adding a level of depth and dimension to the piece. I love how unpredictable the process is. Every brush stroke, or should I say, every finger stroke, is a surprise. And there we have it, our very own finger-painted masterpiece. I hope you can see just how satisfying it is to create something unique and beautiful using just your hands. The joy of finger painting lies in its freedom and spontaneity. It's an incredible way to express yourself creatively. In today's tutorial, we learned some basic techniques for finger painting with acrylics, from color mixing to layering and texture. But most importantly, we learned to let go of our fears and simply enjoy the creative process. Remember, finger painting is all about therapy and self-expression. It's a chance to unplug and tap into your artistic side. If you've given finger painting a try, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments below. And if you're looking for more artistic inspiration, be sure to check out my other tutorials and let's get creative about experimentation and playing around with colors and textures. You don't need to have any fancy skills or training to get started, which is what makes it so appealing to so many people. One of the biggest misconceptions about creating art is that you need to have some kind of natural talent or skill. But the truth is, art is all about practice and experimentation. Finger painting is the perfect way to challenge that notion, because it's so easy to pick up and start creating. You don't need to worry about mastering complex techniques or using expensive equipment. All you need is some paint, a canvas, and your fingers. I think a lot of people are intimidated by the idea of creating art because they're worried they won't be good enough. But the thing is, art is subjective, and what looks good to one person might not look good to another. The beauty of finger painting is that it's all about embracing imperfection and having fun with the process. You might be surprised at how therapeutic it can be to get your hands messy and just play around with colors and textures. Another reason people might be hesitant to try finger painting is that they think it's just for kids. But trust me, this is an art form that can be enjoyed by people of all ages. You can create some really stunning pieces using this technique, and it's a great way to tap into your creative side and express yourself. Let's get started with the materials we'll need for today's project. We'll be using many canvases, which are just the right size for creating small, intricate pieces of art. You can use any type of paint you like, but I'll be using acrylic today. You'll also need a palette or plate for mixing your colors, and a cup of water for cleaning your fingers. I like to use a paper towel to remove excess paint from my fingers, too. To get started, I'll be applying a base coat of paint to my canvas. This is just a simple layer of yellow ochre that will help bring out the colors we'll be using later. You can use a brush to apply the paint, but I like to use my fingers to get a more textured look. Just dip your finger in the paint and start smearing it around the canvas. It's that easy. Now that we've got our base coat on, let's start building up some colors. I'll be using a bold blue and a bright orange to create a really vibrant, abstract piece. To get a more subtle look, you can start mixing your colors on the palette before applying them to the canvas. Or, if you like a more dramatic look, you can apply the paint straight from the tube. The choice is yours. As we build up our colors, you can start to experiment with different techniques to add some texture and interest to your piece. One of my favorite things to do is use my fingers to create little swirls and patterns on the canvas. You can also try using a gentle tapping motion to create a more subtle look. Let's take a step back and look at what we've created so far. I love how the blue and orange are working together to create this really dynamic, abstract piece. The texture from the finger painting is adding a really interesting element to the canvas, too. To finish off our piece, let's add a few highlights using a small dotting tool. This is just a simple way to add a bit of contrast to the canvas and make our colors pop. You can use a toothpick or even the end of a paintbrush to create these little dots. Just dip it in the paint and start dotting away. And that's it. I'm really happy with how this piece has turned out. The colors are vibrant and bold, and the texture from the finger painting adds a really interesting element to the canvas. I hope you've followed along and created your own stunning mini canvas art. If you have, be sure to share it with me in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll be exploring some advanced techniques for taking your canvas art to the next level. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon to turn on notifications, and I'll catch